Alright, YouTube, so apparently it's just come out the Boston Marathon was bombed. Two explosives have gone off, people are injured, several people are dead. Uh, at first they were thinking it might be something related to steam, like a gas line or a water main or something like that. They've gone past that now. They have found other devices that did not explode. So it was some sort of attack, criminal, terrorist, not sure yet, foreign nationals, Mossad agents, whatever. We're not exactly sure. And of course, it's a tragedy because people have been hurt and other people have been killed. But traditionally, what happens in such situations is that facts are obviously going to be confused as people throw out their own opinions that are masquerading as fact. Sometimes people deliberately troll or spread disinformation. What seems to be likely, judging just what I've heard in the last 10 minutes or so on CNN's live feed about this, is that in some way they'll attempt to relate it to one of several things. They may attempt to relate it to the North Koreans, because everyone would love a reason to invade. They might blame it on the Iranians. It's not as likely, but it's possible. Or the Syrians, that's possible too. They may blame it on a political ideology. Either, this will be some radical liberal, some radical conservative, some radical gun owner, doomsday scenario sort of survivalist person. Of course, the people from Newtown at the massacre there were actually there, and some of the apparently this marathon was in support of them. So rather strange that this would happen. There's almost certainly, though, whoever planned it out and carried through with this attack almost certainly had a motive. Most people aren't simply deranged and they bomb things for no reason. So there was a motive involved. We know that when a crime happens that there was some psychological or more literalistic motive. If I had to make a guess, I probably wouldn't because we don't know. But it will be misused by the media. It will be misused by both political parties. Possibly as a precursor to invasion, possibly to strengthen the argument for gun laws. We're not sure yet, but just watch and see how events unfold. Just like after 9/11 with the Patriot Act, with invading countries that had nothing to do with it, it'll be misused in some way. It's not clear quite yet. Of course, it took several days after 9/11 before we truly knew what the political parties and media decided to go after. But we'll go after somebody. There will be some sort of witch hunt. It won't matter who actually, in the long run, as we saw with 9/11, in the long run it won't even matter who actually committed the crime. What will matter more is the ideology that was followed after it by those hunting them down. That's what we saw with 9/11, it's what we saw with Iraq, it's what we saw with everything that's happened, Vietnam, all the way back, Korean War. The ideology matters more than the actual events. Not saying that they should. Of course, the loss of life should be what matters. People should be focused on that, on mourning the dead and injured, on certainly helping the injured, trying to put something together so that they can go on with their lives. That's typically not what happens. The people that are actually hurt generally fall by the wayside. You'll have a little memorial to them set up in some corner alley, and then it's used as an excuse to kill more people, or take people's rights away. So I'm calling it right now. I believe that this event will be misused in some manner. Of course, it also came out today, North Korea is threatening South Korea again, which is suspicious. Of course, today is also Patriot Day for Massachusetts, so they were mentioning that on CNN, trust me, making the connotation there with perhaps overzealous gun owners, libertarians, and so forth. It's also rumored that it's Israeli Independence Day. Not sure if that could play into it. The mass media, of course, would never report something like that. And I'm not sure if that's true, and I'll look that up before uploading this video, and in the description I will put whether that is, in fact, the case. But they're running the live footage right now, as well as basically footage of the same bomb going off over and over and over. Depressing, yes, and concerning, but it will most likely be misused in some fashion, because that's what the government and the media typically do in such a situation. To ignore this fact is to ignore established history for basically since man formed governments. Peace out.